The Pulse of Spokane is a broad show that showcases many different things in our community, sponsored by Local 29 Firefighters Union, Well Dressed Walrus, and Homes for You.
Hi there, and welcome to the Pulse of Spokane. I am Emma Olring, and I am here today with Craig Fischer. Craig, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, Emma. Thanks for having me.
You're hanging in there?
I'm hanging in, yes.
Good. So you are a leadership coach, which is kind of, a little vague. What does that actually mean? How do you practice that?
Yeah, so basically I work with people. Often they have formal leadership positions, all kinds of industries. But really, as we talk, it'll be obvious everyone has something that they're trying to show up in it, whether it's work or life. And I try to help people live out their values, get clear, but also get perspective. Even before what we're going through now, work and life can be pretty kind of noisy and overwhelming. So coaching is one way to cut through that in sessions with folks to get them on track.
Yeah, wow. So I'm curious, have you always had kind of a fascination with leadership? Did you maybe have someone that wasn't a great leader in your workplace that you were leading with?
Yeah.
Like, how does
Yeah.
this land in your lap? How do you have this going on?
It's a great question. Yeah, I, like many people, had some pretty unskillful bosses, and actually resisted my first promotion because I was like, I don't want to be one of those people. And so it kind
Oh,
of made
wow.
me curious about what good leadership might look like. And yeah, this has been many years, but of course there's lots to learn in that area. But yeah, I had some contrasting experiences that helped me to realize how important it is to be as skillful as possible. Yeah.
Yeah, wow. How are you able to coach people in various workplaces? I mean, obviously, leadership is something that goes into any profession and any field of work, but I'm curious, how are you able, to relate to someone in the marketing field versus who's a pharmacist or a doctor? How are you able to do that?
Yeah, it's interesting. If you were to mentor or try to get people further in their career, you probably need area specialty. But with coaching, what we're coming back to is people's values and the impact they want to have. So when I'm talking with a marketing exec, marketing might come up, but a lot of times it's about their values, how they show up, how do they take care of themselves, how they can be strategic. And so their day-to-day work, it matters, of course, but the kind of heart of the matter often is where we go in coaching. And so what you find is that you can get there with people in industries, even if you haven't worked in those industries.
Yeah. So I'm a student at Gonzaga, and I have a minor
Cool.
in leadership studies. So I'm part of
Okay, great.
a program in their School of Leadership called the Comprehensive Leadership Program, CLP is what we call it. And so leadership fascinates me. I have taken all the personality tests. I just done the emotional intelligence EQ profile, if you know all about that
Yeah.
stuff as well. So are you using kind of, theories and these personality tests that are available to people, or is it more just based off, past experience you've had? I know you obviously are mentioning getting to their core values, but how do you actually do that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that you want to think in leadership in a few different areas. So self-knowledge is, I think, is part of what you're talking about. And so I would be open to using any number of assessments. Some I'm familiar with, and others that other people bring to the table. So to understand my own style, my work style, my motivations, personality, really, really helpful. And then doing a deep dive into how those show up in community, in with other people at your work. And that's where kind of working on techniques and these kinds of things. So situational leadership, crucial conversations, those are all great techniques for us to learn. But if we don't know how to show up, or if we get in our own way, no great techniques are going to be really effective. So that, but it's a yes and for me, for sure.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times we do start with assessments and getting clearer about our natural instincts and style, for sure.
Yeah. Awesome. And then kind of leaning into what's going on in the world right now and all this chaos of working from home, how are you able to help leaders right now? I don't know if you currently have clients that are, coming to you with questions. What is some advice you're giving out right now?
Yeah, for sure. Great question. Well, luckily, a lot of coaching businesses are built through technology to be remote. So working with people where geography isn't an issue. So that part isn't really a learning curve. But to your point, yeah, leaders, if they can spare any headspace, this is actually a great time to reach out and have some coaching. I'm lowering paywall for in my business. Other businesses are doing this as well. But to really get some perspective, to get to the balcony is always difficult as a leader. But really, in these times, people are also homeschooling, also worried about parents. There's so many layers,
So
and
many layers.
so yeah, so many layers, and we're all feeling it. But in that coaching relationship, that person can really is dedicated for that session to help them get perspective and keep moving. And so that's how I serve leaders. So yeah, definitely people are reaching out and or not canceling. They're canceling other things, but not their coaching appointments
Yeah,
because it's
yeah, that's
that
nice
little
for you.
yeah. And
Yeah.
it feels like you're doing a little bit to be useful to people who are doing hard work.
Yeah. What is some leadership that has been positive in your life that maybe you kind of model after, or someone that you look to, whether it's a celebrity or a personal relationship? Who do you often go towards?
Yeah, great question. Well, after I got past my cynicism about managers some 20 years ago, I
Mhm.
did start looking for models, and it seems crazy to say, but I, of course, I had them even in my own life. So my father was an enlisted officer, and he talked all the time about taking care of his people, and they'll take care of the work.
Mm.
And the Army isn't necessarily thought of as a touchy-feely organization, but I've known many military leaders very motivated to take care of their people, and then
Yeah.
the hard work comes from that. So in my inner circle, I have those folks, and then of course I look at great leaders. I also work at the med school downtown at WSU, and there's a really
Oh, nice.
progressive, innovative dean, Dr. Tom Kobiak there, who's thinks about multiplying the talents around him. So it turns out there's actually great leaders all over the place. Most of them aren't famous, but if you go
Yeah.
looking for those things, yeah, look at their impact. Sometimes it's not style. There's really quiet great leaders. There's really outgoing great
Mhm.
leaders. But I always think about the impact. If they're growing
Yeah.
their people, if they're hitting the bottom line, if the company's doing great or the organization's doing great, um, then that's really useful and powerful. I know a nonprofit CEO in town in Spokane, Julie Honkamp, one of the most skillful leaders I've
Mhm.
ever seen in my life.
Wow. And how are people able to reach you? If someone is right now really in need of some
Yeah.
mentorship and leadership and what to do, and not, I mean, even after the pandemic too, this obviously leadership is never ending. And how could
Yep.
people reach you, or kind of who is able to have you as a leader and a coach?
Yeah, thanks for asking. So craigfisher.com, the Fisher has a C in there, so FISCHER gives you all my contact information. And like I said, right now, no paywall. So go in there and just schedule a time for us to chat, and we can move forward with the strategy and not worry about the rest for now. So what I really recommend generally is reach out to coaches and talk with them and see what the fit is. And from that first conversation, you often can see like, okay, this is going to be helpful, or for whatever reason it's not, and then you can check out another coach. But in my case, I'd
Okay.
rather talk with people than not, and then we can move from there and see if it's a fit.
Yeah, amazing. And maybe just some final advice to go away with from this podcast to people listening who, are in this sticky situation or and are leading a group of people. What is just kind of, a concise little piece of advice you have?
Sure, thanks. So this situation is going to put tons of pressure on our habits, for better or for worse. So getting
Mhm.
better at taking care of ourselves, those habits you've been putting off for 5 years because you were too busy, you got to own them now, and then
Mhm.
replicate them in your teams. And these can be little things, but taking care of yourself, check in. These small little habits over the course of a month, they're going to make a huge difference. And so it's simple but not easy, like a lot of leadership stuff. So coming back to those
Yeah.
daily habits, and if you don't have good ones, there's lots of people who can help you. It's not a chance to beat yourself up. It's just to say, okay, this is my learning time then, and build a few good
Mhm.
habits.
Oh, that's great advice. And they also can go to you to help
Yeah,
those
absolutely.
habits.
Yep. I'd love to meet you.
Great. Well,
Yep,
Craig,
great.
I really appreciate your time. Stay
Likewise.
healthy. Um, and thanks for listening to the Pulse of Spokane, everyone.
Join us at Paint Night, where you release your inner artist, hosting events in Spokane and surrounding areas. We are the party on wheels and can come to your choice of locations. We specialize in private events, corporate team building, and fundraisers. We are the original Paint Night and want you to join in the fun. Check us out at www.paintnight.com, and we always offer $10 off with the code SPOKANE10.
National Barricade and Sign Company is a well-established company founded in 1957. National Barricade has become a well-known business in the Spokane Valley for more than 50 years. Over the years, we have built long-lasting relationships with many cities, counties, and their departments of transportation. Customers come to us because they know they are going to get the best quality service at the best possible price. National Barricade prides itself on getting the job done in a timely manner. We know that contractors must have certain items in a timely fashion to get their job done, and if we don't have it, we will get it. We guarantee fast service no matter how long it takes.
Hi, this is Tim Lane with State Farm with your quick winter tip. One of the most common questions I get is about trees and who's responsible for a fallen tree or branches. The answer comes down to negligence. If your neighbor's tree falls and damages your home, vehicle, or personal property due to a weather-related incident, then your insurance company would cover that as a non-fault loss. If you can prove negligence against your neighbor, city, or county, then they are legally responsible for your damages. If you have any coverage questions or would like a second opinion on your insurance, call my team and I at Tim Lane State Farm at 509-926-5135.
Imagine being ordered to stay home when you have no home to go to. Because of generosity from people like you, Union Gospel Mission is able to provide a place of safety and refuge for men, women, and children who have nowhere else to go. Today, more than ever, the vulnerable in our community need your help. Thank you for your generous tax-deductible gift in their time of need.
Thanks for watching. Ask the host a question, recommend a guest, or check out any of our other programs on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or SpokaneTalksMedia.com. Sponsored by Local 29 Firefighters Union, Well Dressed Walrus, and Homes for You.